Chicagoans are having an issue with that because we need to be taken care of first. Chicago community where 97% voted for Biden react furiously after finding out 500 migrants. Oh my God, 500 migrants.
That's a lot.
Are heading to their way and claim to have been bumped off the housing waiting list. Now, I have a video for everybody that is going to be fun for you. Let's just listen to the story coming out of Chicago from their own mouths. Oops, forgot to share it. Screen share. There we go.
Inside South Shore International College Prep.
Excuse me, a question was asked.
Hundreds of residents gathered to hear from city leaders on a plan to move migrants to the old South Shore High School.
I think what's important is that we really establish that this is a humanitarian crisis, and we're here. You're not supposed to interrupt. You're not supposed to interrupt.
Members of Mayor Lightfoot's administration were supposed to give a presentation, but were interrupted by angry outbursts. And decided to move directly to residents' questions. One being how many asylum seekers would be housed here.
We were looking at a potential phased approach utilizing the first floor first only. What that means, you can fit up to, we'd start with 250, 500.
I'm ticked off. You're doing this wrong. You're doing it wrong. 250 people? Give me a break.
We have several home-based daycares. Who are they? Who are we going to be dealing with? I'm directly across the street. I have to fear for the children that I care for.
I think it would be very fair for every homeless immigrant that you bring in, that you scoop up one of the homeless individuals in our community. I think that would be fair. And that you also provide that bed, that shower, that meal.
Look at all the xenophobics and bigots.
Yep. Hey, they're right, though.
They are right.
And I mean, that's a slap in the face to that whole community. You know what I mean? I mean, she talked about it's a humanitarian problem. They have a whole humanitarian problem in Chicago itself. You know, murders, homelessness, drugs. They have so many problems there. So pretty much the Democratic Party just told all those black people, we don't care about you, and we never have.
Yep.
Y'all better wake up, Black America. Democrats don't care about you. And us black conservatives have been saying this.
You get what you vote for. I'm sorry. Like that, I don't have sympathy for you because like that's exactly what the residents of Texas have been saying for years, right? And now that it's a problem because they're coming to Chicago and New York, right? Like they're complaining about 250, 500 people. The people in Texas have to deal with thousands, tens of thousands every single week.
All right, so I have a buddy who's down at the border. He works for DHS, right?
Right.
And he told me there's where's it at? Hold on.
Well, we bring that up. I got another video to show.
There's still okay, go ahead.
All right, so this is what they're saying in Chicago right now for everybody to listen to.
All these resources that have not come to us, now you want to overly compensate for people who never lived here before, and we need to be taken care of first and foremost before anything else happens here.
Why would any leader put our black communities already riddled with crime at further risk by placing unvetted non-taxpayers steps away from our seniors, our children, and our homes we've worked so hard on our own to secure?
We are at war, people. Our communities are at war. They are violating our communities, and we asking that we across the country, and we asking and we're demanding for office of Black America, or whatever you want to call it, to deal with issues like this.
I did get placed on a wait list, but I was told that the immigrants were taking priority. See, that's a story that a lot of people don't know, and it hurt me. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I understand we need to be humanitarian, but these people that my participants are third and fourth generation Chicagoan, born, bred, fed, and raised here. My grandmother, Mayrella Carrington, rest in peace, always said, Craig, charity starts at home first, and then it go abroad.
That's right.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have.
Many of these migrants have been dumped in our neighborhoods without a plan in place to monitor and house them long term.
I'm not selling nothing. And I keep telling people, we don't have to move. If you sell, they gonna come in. If we don't sell, we gotta stand strong and go. That's right. We just getting started.
Yeah. So this is everything that they've been saying is what Republicans have been saying for years in Texas. For years.
But
And
we're the xenophobes, right?
Yeah, right.
But I was talking to my buddy down there. He's down at the border. So I was asking him, how bad is it down there? Is it as bad as what the media is saying? Pretty much he's saying in the Brownsville, McAllen area, all that area, that they're just getting hundreds and hundreds of people flooding across the border, trying to sneak in through riverbanks and everything. So they're kind of catching them as they're coming in. But he said in the California, El Paso, that side, he was like, it's even crazier over there. But he said a lot of the gunfire that you're hearing is on the Mexican side, the Mexico side, between the Mexican army and the cartels. So
yeah,
I sent you 2 pictures of these people they picked up, and that's what they left. All that trash.
Oh, I've seen that. All the trash and all of the yeah, I see that.
So I feel for the people in Chicago right now. You know, it's almost like they've been betrayed. You know, the people that they voted for, the people that they supported, turn their backs on them. You know, and that's a huge voting base out there. So we'll see what happens these next few years.
Yep, that's insane though. All that stuff that they had, all that trash that they just dumped. It's all the passports, IDs, everything, because they don't want to be identified as soon as they go in.
That's right.
It's insane. And here's the best part is what Mayorkas was saying about the border. That's the other video I had to share because this is really important information for people to understand of what the administration is saying about this whole situation. This is Mayorkas on CNN.
You are getting regular updates from the southern border. What is the latest with regard to border crossings? And do you believe the surge has peaked?
Dan, over the past 2 days, the United States Border Patrol has experienced a 50% drop in the number of encounters versus what we were experiencing earlier in the week before Title 42 ended at midnight on Thursday. It is still early. We are in day 3. But, you know, we've been planning for this transition for months and months, and we've been executing on our plan, and we will continue to do so.
So it's too early to say whether the surge has peaked.
It is too early, but the numbers that we have experienced over the past 2 days are markedly down over what they were prior to the end of Title 42.
What are the numbers, 5,000?
So we have seen, I think, approximately 6,300 on Friday and about 4,200 yesterday by the United States Border Patrol. And we saw over 10,000 before the end of Title 42 earlier last week.
Why do you think that is?
Because we have communicated very clearly a vitally important message to the individuals who are thinking of arriving at our southern border. There is a lawful, safe, and orderly way to arrive in the United States that is through the pathways that President Biden has expanded in an unprecedented way. And then there's a consequence if one does not use those lawful pathways. And that consequence is removal from the United States, a deportation, and encountering a 5-year ban on reentry and possible criminal prosecution.
So that's what they're saying it is. But like here,
well, I can confirm, you know, that part. You know, I was told by a source, a really good one, someone that's actually there. He did say the numbers have dropped. He said when Title 42 when it first ended, he's like, it was crazy down there. But he said, you know, they are dropping. They're not seeing as many. I don't know the total percentage, but he did say that there's not as many coming across as it was in the very beginning. But who knows? I I don't know.
So I was going to say, for those of you who don't know, as of May 14, 2023, any non-citizens who cross the border illegally and do not have a legal reason to remain in the United States will be processed for removal under Title 8. The removal process under Title 8 is lengthy compared to Title 42, which requires a legal screening, creating a paper trail. Under Title 8, border officials can quickly expel asylum-seeking migrants they encounter at the border without processing their asylum claims. Following regular rules of processing an asylum, more than 2.5 million migrants have been turned away under Title 42 since 2020. If we already know that Title 42 has already ended, the government reverts previous immigration law, which falls under Title 8 of the U.S. Code. Under Title 8, the U.S. is required to give migrants who request asylum a preliminary interview or a chance to present their case in front of an immigration judge. So we went away from just being able to turn them away to now we have to give them a hearing. Every single one of them. All
and
of
that
them.
takes forever. You know, because when I worked in a jail, man, you know, we used to get illegals a lot. And they did have to go through that process. You know, DHS would call them, immigration would call them, then they would wait to go see a judge. And it'd be days before they even picked them up to go stand in front of a immigration judge, whatever the heck you call them. So all these people, it's going to be a very long process if they're waiting on that. Very long process, because then they got to weed out the criminals. They got to weed out the gangsters. They got to weed out the cartel members. And then you got different people from all different countries down there. You got Sudan, you have Venezuela, you have Chinese. I mean, there's so much going on down there right now. He said it's pretty chaotic. So
it's 128 different countries have been showing up at the border. It's not like everybody just assumes it's like Latin Americans or Southern Americans that are coming up. It's everybody and their mother are coming through the southern border. And here's the thing is, like, before we go, I want to show this last video to show you exactly what is they're thinking. CNN did this interview with a migrant and didn't get the answers he was looking for.
Y una pregunta, ¿usted está enterado del título 42 y que iban a abrir la frontera como antes de la pandemia? Were you aware of Title 42 and that they were going to open the border like before the pandemic?
Sí, estaba enterado.
Por eso viniste, that's why you came?
Claro, igual que mucha gente.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. Gracias, muchas gracias y suerte con tu viaje, Pedro. Pedro, it represents a lot of the stories here, the migrants that we're hearing on the streets. So many officials here have told us they are ready for what's coming next, projecting an air of confidence. Sarah, only time will tell if they're right. Sarah?
Yeah, that interview didn't last long after he said that. Yeah, they came up here because Title 42 is expiring.
Yeah, of course they were told ahead. They were told ahead of time, man.
Yeah, they knew.
Look, you know, this is a shiny object, man, because I think this whole Title 42 thing ending, the administration knew it was going to end. DHS knew it was going to end. They all knew it was going to end. You know, now they're scrambling last minute. So I really believe there's something else going on, man. Like, I truly, and this is the shiny object they're showing us right now. Here's the shiny object, and then they're showing us the Patriot front. That's another shiny object. But they're showing both these shiny objects, and I truly believe, man, something else. Deep down in my gut, I believe that there is something going on, and it's going to mess with our finances, the financial system. Something's going to happen. They just got to take our focus off of that while they're doing this over here. So, you know, keep your eye on it. That's what I would say. Keep your eye on that border. Keep your eye on whatever, but pay attention to everything else. Don't focus on the shiny objects too much. That's
true.
my
and
rant.
This is going to get worse before it gets better, and they are not protecting America as it is. And like I said, you get what you vote for. So all these cities that are sanctuary cities are gonna get worse because they're gonna keep busting them into places. It used to be just a border state problem. Now it's everybody's problem, and that's the way it should have been from the beginning. If you isolate it to just Republican states, you call them xenophobes, you have no idea what you're talking about, because now you're actually feeling what it's like to be a border city.